The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What is up? Welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. It is draft week officially, Tuesday, April 23rd. Draft is in 2 days. We will have a show on Thursday, maybe have some guests in there as well, looking at a Friday show as well. So everybody has, you kind of ramping it up a little bit here for draft week, a lot of bit actually, because that's what happens, and there's really been nothing going on until now. So can't say there's been a lot going on this week, but there was a press conference just finished. Pre-draft press conference. It doesn't ever go on my list of favorite things to cover, mainly because nothing official is really going to get said. You can't really get a gauge one way or another of what they're saying. But it's something, and it was Jerry and Steven and Mike McCarthy talking for an hour, and just kind of answering questions from the media about why they haven't done anything, what are they going to do, and these three contracts and how they affect everything. But it was interesting. I'll say that. And I'm sure if you guys have some questions, we can talk about it. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. And let's get it started here. We're already a few minutes late, so let's get started. Jeff in Salt Lake City. Jeff, you're up.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm good. What's up?
Hey, good. Just wanted to start out with a karaoke song. I really enjoyed doing Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
It's one of my favorites.
Man,
I just had a comment for you and then a quick question. So
right.
I usually try to stay away from the quarterback stuff because I'm a Dak Prescott believer. I know that within the fan base it's probably split, maybe 55-45 per se, but I just feel it's kind of a disservice with what's going on with Dak Prescott. I know it takes two to tango in regards to getting a contract extension done. But with it being the draft, I know a lot of fans would like to kind of draft a quarterback early, not necessarily this year, but, just kind of see how the future plays out. I heard something interesting on the radio this morning. All of the quarterbacks within the 2021 draft, with the exception of Lawrence from Jacksonville, have now been traded. Same thing with the 2022 draft. The first-round pick, Pickett, has been traded. So it's catch-22. I went through the early 2000s in QB purgatory, and I don't really want to go through that again. So I just think the world of Dak Prescott. So just my thoughts on that. Quick question for you, though. Listening to the other podcasts, Isaiah Stanback on Talking Cowboys mentioned that he believes, and what he's heard is the Cowboys with Mike Zimmer may be going more towards a 3-4 base. And I don't know. I know the schemes nowadays are multiple, but wasn't Zimmer was kind of primarily a 4-3 guy, and then he learned the 3-4 under Bill Parcells. I don't necessarily feel that we have the personnel to run a 3-4, especially on the D-line. Michael Parsons can play that outside linebacker role, but I don't know necessarily about dropping D-Law back to that other outside linebacker. I don't feel we got big enough linebackers, and especially on the D-line. What's your thoughts on that, Nick? And I'll hang up and listen to you.
All right.
And once again, I appreciate you taking my call, and you have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, what you said about quarterbacks is interesting, and that's the thing. I've kind of said something along those lines the last few weeks, that I just don't feel like you have to just go take a quarterback because these are the best ones in the bunch. That doesn't mean that they're going to be, these generational type quarterbacks. And just because they're the ones. I'm looking at them right now on NFL Network. And the Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. I mean, I wouldn't trade up to take any of those guys, honestly. But I'm not to say there's not difference-making quarterbacks, but I didn't love the Trey Lance pick, that San Francisco did, or Mac Jones or Daniel Jones, and I think people are afraid to not have a quarterback, so they go and they jump in and they try to get one. But Yeah, those stats show that they didn't always work out. As for 3-4-4-3, I actually saw Mike Zimmer this morning. Talked to him for a little bit, very, very briefly. We were just talking about the fact that I was like, I've written some articles where I say nobody really knows where these guys are going to line up in this new scheme, and he kind of laughed. He said that's good, but he said, we'll find out a lot more about what these guys can do when they do get on the field for OTAs and rookie minicamp and of course the regular minicamp as well. So I don't know if he even knows just yet exactly how they're going to play. And if they do go to a 3-4, which I don't think they would like a full time, I think you would just have some variations of it within the game. You would need some big guys up front. You definitely need a nose tackle type. Don't really have that just yet. The outside linebackers, Micah could do that, but aside from that, Sam Williams maybe is that other rusher type outside linebacker. I mean, he could do that. You've got versatile players like a Chauncey Golston, who would probably be your defensive end in that. Your linebackers, Clark and Kendricks are maybe not big enough for just the two inside guys. But I've also seen this team, it's been a while, but I've seen this team change into a 3-4 with basically one draft. So, but they were focused more on the defense there, and I don't know if they will just be committed to that all the way, because they do have needs on the other side of the line on offense. So I would think it's 4-3 with maybe some 3-4 principles, but maybe Isaiah's hearing some more of that. I don't know. All right, let's go to Dylan, Northport, Florida. Dylan,
hey, Nick. How's it going?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good, recovering from that Disney trip. You're right, man. Well, it's not easy on the wallet, I'll tell you what.
No.
it's something.
Never. No.
Yeah.
So what's up?
Yeah, just want to talk about this offseason and kind of the draft here a little bit. So I think a lot of the negativity this offseason comes from the ending in Green Bay. I think that if they punched up and maybe had a better end to the season, I don't think people view this offseason as such a massive failure. Fans are kind of losing their hats over Jerry's all-in comments and the players that we've lost without replacing anybody. And I really think heading into the draft, I think the Cowboys have a chance to flip kind of the perspective of this offseason, because if you look at their roster, they're just missing a few depth pieces. They're missing a few key pieces on the offensive line, D tackle, linebacker, running back. But all of those look like there's a really good chance that they get addressed, not only addressed in the draft, but addressed with guys that are at the top of their prospective positions, like center, running back. There's not a lot of D tackles, but there's some good guys later in the draft that you can probably get and plug in the interior. So, if the Cowboys move back in the first round, pick up maybe a third or a fourth or maybe both, if they move back far enough, they may still grab a center and have enough picks, enough capital to go and replenish everything. And if this draft class can perform, I mean, this could be a very successful season still. So I think there's a good chance that gets flipped here this weekend. And are you guys doing a show on Friday for StoryLine? I know you talked about that.
Yeah, I think we are. That's the plan. We're going to try to do one in the afternoon. We don't have a time set up just yet because I would like to have the guest be the first round draft pick. That might be a pipe dream.
Oh.
But it's been. I don't even know if I'd like to say in the works. It's been discussed. It hasn't been shot down. We'll see. But
that would be really cool, dude. That would be cool. And
we'll definitely do a show on Friday. I want to hear from you guys on the only thing that's really happened this offseason. And, of course, I say that knowing or not knowing if they're even going to draft a pick. Who knows? If they may not.
True.
They may not. But either way, we are planning on having a show on Friday. We'll see who's next to me on it as well.
Have you guys, if you do something like that, I don't know if you floated this or not to anybody, but the having there's a chat feature on Twitter. Having that, on the live video, I think that would be kind of cool, and you could take questions right from there as well instead of having to rely on the text and stuff.
Yeah.
Just a thought, something I was thinking about. I was talking to Irene about it.
There's good and bad with those, Like,
yep.
Like you're,
I get it.
Like you're right. I mean, like I forgot what platform there is where we've done that, and you see it, and you see questions, but they're not always, hey Nick, what do you think about this? It's Cowboys suck.
I bet, man.
Yeah. All right.
Twitter's a wild place. Thanks, dude.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, Dylan. Good stuff. All right, good stuff there. Let me go a text message question there. Chris from New York. In the spirit of the draft week, I have two questions. Is there a position of need that isn't being talked about that could be addressed early in the draft? And is there a scenario or move that the Cowboys could make that you'd find shocking? I'd be shocked if they moved up, because I just, you're at 24. I mean, how far are you going to go? And if you went just a few picks up, you'd still have to lose some draft capital that I don't think that they really want to do. So it seems like it would be shocking for me if they went up. And then a position of need that isn't being talked about that could be addressed early. I mean, if they loved a cornerback, I could see that maybe as a need. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't ever have enough. And the first person that told me that way back 15, 20 years ago was Mike Zimmer. I remember him saying that. You absolutely can never have enough. If you think you have 5 good ones, you should try to get a 6th one. Because it always, they get injured. You can't ever have enough. And, with Deron Bland and Diggs under contract here for a little bit, still, I wouldn't surprise me. Receiver would be interesting. Cooks is the last year of his deal. Who knows about CD? So is CD. Receiver would be one that would be interesting because it would have to be somebody like a Brian Thomas or somebody from LSU that they liked, or Xavier Worthy or somebody like that. But I still think you just got so many more needs. I just can't imagine that happening. All right, Ronnie in New Jersey is next.
Hey, good afternoon, Nick.
Ronnie, what's up, man?
Not too much, not too bad. I'm waiting for the draft, and Nick, I really hope it's not a wide receiver or a cornerback.
I know. I don't want that either, but I don't want that either. But I mean, it would have to be somebody that just fell right to them. They're like, man, this is too good to pass up. But I don't even see that scenario happening.
And I hope not. I hope somebody does. If somebody like that falls to them, I hope we could pick up a 2nd-round pick for that player, drop back and pick up an extra 2nd, not a 3rd. Like I heard, I've been hearing scenarios from.
How far do you want to drop back? I mean, like everyone loves to say 29 or 30. That keeps them drafting on Thursday night. But what if it's 36 and you're not picking until Friday night? You cool with that?
I wouldn't mind going to the top pick of the 2nd round, first pick of the 2nd round, or 2nd pick of the 2nd round. That far, no further than that, because you could still pick up. You could still, let's say you drop back to the top of the 2nd round, you could still probably pick up not one of the. You're not going to get one of the best tackles anyways on where you're at. So, and I don't know why everybody's so in love with drafting a tackle. I hear there's deep, whatever the tackle class, but I don't think we need a tackle. I want to see the young guys. Like, come on, one of these guys got it. We drafted 3 tackles in the past 2-3 years. One of these guys got to be, something. Like, one of these guys, you don't need an all-star offensive line to be productive. You need a great center. I keep on calling. I know I keep on mentioning I want a big center, a big athletic center, and a big defensive tackle. A nose tackle. I don't like this guy, Massey Smith. He's coming back now from a shoulder injury. Who knows how long it's going to take him to get back. If we pick up, I'll be happy if they pick up a nice big center and a nose tackle, 1st and 2nd round, linebacker, whatever. After that, whatever you want to get. Well, they need a center. That'll fit everything.
All right, Ronnie. Appreciate the call. I have a feeling I know where you think the team should be built. Right down the center, right down the middle there. Center, defensive tackle, linebacker, maybe a running back, quarterback, whatever. That's where the center of it all. And there's some people that believe that. Believe that philosophy inside out. That's how you build your team. the whole like don't need a left tackle. I don't know about don't need one. You've had one for 14 years. Is that right? 13 seasons maybe. And Tyron Smith's been banged up, but when he's out there, he's been great. And I think it's a valued position. So yeah, I mean I don't say it's head and shoulders above the center position, but I do think it's not to be. I'm not interested in just Awesome Richards, Matt Walesko, Josh Ball. Just like go figure it out. I'm not. If I miss someone, I mean, there's probably a reason for that. I guess. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody else in the mix there, but I kind of would be okay drafting one. You know, give me one that's played a lot. Maybe can play some guard as well. But no, I'd be fine with taking. I mean, there's a lot of really good tackles that are worthy of the pick. So I would be fine with that, and I'm okay if they trade back, even if it's in the second round. I mean, that wouldn't be fun for Thursday night, but if it has to happen, then you know you're going to get them. You're going to probably get another second or third, maybe next year or whatever. You're going to get some pretty good picks for that if you trade back. But ideally, you pick at 24, and if not, then you can move back a few spots. I just don't know what player will be there that somebody would want. If it's a quarterback, that will make sense. It will make sense if a quarterback's still on the board at 24. Somebody might want to come get them. All right, Tim in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just want to give my opinion on what I think we should do in the draft. And when we played the 49ers the last few years, I feel like they were playing what I call tackle football, and we were playing flag. I think we need to get bigger and stronger, especially in the middle. I think, yeah, we do need to address our O-line, but I think we need to spend the rest of our draft capital on maybe a one-technique linebacker and just get bigger, stronger, and more physical in the middle of our defense. I think that's been our weakness, especially when we go against teams like the 49ers, which pretty much right now is the gold standard in the NFC.
Yeah.
What is your opinion?
Well, I think you're not wrong with that. We got to stop the run. I mean, that's the thing. That's got to be the focus is stopping the run. And it's been the difference this last playoff loss against the Packers and then the one before. Playoff football is different. Everything is a little bit more condensed. It's tougher. The weather's not always perfect. Sometimes it isn't if you're playing indoors. But you've got to be able to run the ball. And the Cowboys kind of they've gotten away from it, and they get away with it, but they don't run the ball when they really need to. And that's always been the key. It's 3rd and 2. And at midfield, and you've got to run it. Can you get those yards? And last couple of years, Mike McCarthy doesn't even seem to have the confidence that they can pick up those yards because they're throwing the ball and doing all that when they should be running out the clock. So, running the ball and stopping the run. I mean, those are the two basic things of football on any level, and they play the Cowboys.
Yes. And I expressed my opinion last week on Dak Prescott. I'm not understanding why, everybody wants to pound on Dak, as though Dak plays defense. A lot of our losses is not necessarily been because he failed us.
Yeah.
The defense failed us. And I just don't. I remember the years where we didn't have a quarterback. You've got to have a quarterback, and it doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes, but everybody's not Mahomes.
Yeah.
So
nobody is. Yeah, you're right. He's the best. He's the best, and I think everybody else is kind of in the same boat, behind him. But I think the problem is it always comes down to the money. When you get paid a certain amount, then now the expectations go up. And knowing that that's a really big piece of the pie that you're taking, so you can't go and get a lot of help around him. So you're relying even more on the quarterback to go win the game, even when the defense isn't playing well. Go win the game. And there's been times Dak has done that. There's times that he hasn't. So, that's the oldest, thing in the book right there. The quarterback making a lot of money and a lot of pressure that falls right on him.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Good call there. That's the second time I believe he's called. So let's go Irene in Virginia. Haven't heard from her in a while. Irene, what's up?
Hey, Nick, I am off injured reserve.
Oh, man.
I'm back. No, I wasn't actually injured, just my pride in the season.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah. Feelings were hurt. Now we're back. Yeah,
we're back. We're back in.
It's that vicious
all in.
cycle.
I shouldn't say all in. Take that away. Don't pretend I didn't say that.
Well, Jerry said it like 6 times in the press conference today.
I saw he's trending on Twitter. I'm like, this is going to be a different show. I haven't been able to listen in because I think I got to JP Latistour's number on attempts to call. But anyway, so give me a minute to catch up. So I will say this. So I'm going to scroll back to the Miami game. That I was texting or tweeting with Dylan, and I was like, our analogy on the roller coaster, I feel like we're about to get to the loop, and I just realized that the harness might not be working.
Oh, no.
And he was like, no, it can all work out. And I'm like, I gave that feeling up because he was right. It all came to be. And we were second seed, home field advantage, and I think that's why it particularly gutted me because my practical side said after Miami, this season's going to end the way they have been. And then I bought in, and we all did. So anyway, it took me a while this time. Sometimes it's a couple weeks, and I'm like, all right, whatever. This one gutted me. But anyway, thank you for the second team honors for the all StoryLine team. Now I can tell people that Darren Woodson, Nate Newton, and I are on a team together.
Right. Right.
Maybe Jerry can get us to the Ring of Honor at the same time. I don't know. And then, let's see. Sebastian, appreciate the shout out, especially for a first teamer. I am not the first female caller. I think there was a Rebecca or something in Washington State. And then before me, there was also someone on the Eastern Shore.
Yeah, there's been a few.
Anyway.
There's been some. Yeah, somebody called from to talk to Woodson. Got a chance to talk to Darren Woodson. I don't know if I've ever heard her call back, but yeah, we definitely have some. Somebody from Iowa called last week. I mean, she was ready. She was like,
"Camera's coming. Camera's coming."
Yeah, she was like, "I want to be on the team." So yeah.
Yeah, good for her, man. I mean, I'm glad that I've picked up the baton for the females, but it would be nice to hear a few more.
Yeah.
But there's a topic I wanted to bring up. I'm actually going to save it for next week because this is the draft, and I know the presser is like I said, it's trending on Twitter, so I'll leave it at that. But as far as the draft goes, I think there's not really anyone who excites me enough to stay put at 24 unless somebody falls. Like I'd take Fuaga, or I don't know if I'm as sold on the Graham Barton thing as everyone else on the draft show seems to be, but I think I would be fine with it. They seem excited about him.
Yeah.
But I think for me, if we trade back and get JPJ or Suamataya, I think I'm happy enough with that and then work. One thing I don't want that I think is definitely going to happen is the hurt running back in round 2.
Yeah.
Nothing against him. I would like him if he could slip to round 3. But I think there's enough depth at running back that we don't need to be playing around with that. But maybe if we trade back and get an extra pick, it feels better. So I'll leave it at that.
All right.
I had to catch up with a lot of things. It's good to hear from you or talk to you again.
Good
I'll
stuff.
call again soon.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you, Irene. Good. The Jonathan Brooks. I mean, that one seems like it just makes too much sense. Second round running back, banged up. I'm usually the only thing about taking those injured players or off the field issues or whatever it is in the second round is I would like for them to be first round talent. I mean, there's you take the talented player, there's something wrong with them temporarily or whatever, but you're trying to get value out of it. And I don't think, from what I've heard, that Jonathan Brooks would he have been a first rounder. I mean, that doesn't matter now because he did get banged up, but I haven't really heard that on a consistent level that he would have been a first-round pick. So taking him in the second round, I mean, that he's banged up, his middle of the year injury, he should be ready at some point. If there's somebody just as good, then I'd probably take that guy. But if it's equal, but I do like the way he runs. I like him, and maybe adding Royce Freeman, and who knows, they could be maybe add another veteran. But that might be a situation too to say, all right, you've got some more firepower here, and we don't have this second round running back or whoever it is doesn't have to step right in immediately. That could be the call there. But as for like taking the first round, I'm fine with the center. I'm fine with that. If that's who it is, if it's Graham Barton and that's where he's going to play, I'm fine with it. I mean, I'd be fine with drafting offensive line in the first 2-3 rounds. And if you gave me 3 offensive linemen to start the draft, I'd be fine. I don't know if you guys would be, or Mike Zimmer, who probably wants a little defensive help, but I'd be fine with that. It's not just drafted for this year; you're drafted for next year as well. You don't have a center right now, really. You don't have a left tackle. I don't think Zach Martin will be on the team next year, or they're going to have to do some reworking in the contract if that happens. So, I mean, maybe, but I mean, you've got some pieces to fill here. So, I mean, I'm fine with offensive line early and even throughout the draft. All right, Ali in Florida is next. Ali.
Hello, Mr. Eatman. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? You always make me turn my volume down, man. Because you always bring the energy. What's going on?
I just got home. I was in Amsterdam for 3 weeks, two and a half. I tried to call you from there, but I couldn't get through. They had a storm and stuff. So, anyways, but I got a couple of things. First of all, my favorite podcast is the StoryLine.
Yes.
Just because of you and Chris, and I just want you to know.
It's mainly me, because Chris is on all of them.
Yeah. But I love it, man. Chris is on yours.
That's funny.
I never call any other podcast or any other radio show. My loyalty, you are the first program I ever considered to call in, number one.
Thank you.
Because I love your demeanor. You are such a gentleman. You treat the Cowboy Nation so awesome, number one.
Thank you.
Second, a guy movie for you, since you didn't watch The Gladiator.
Right.
I got another one. It's a Raging Bull.
Okay.
With Robert De Niro.
Right. Yep.
So I'm with you. I would love, first of all, for Cowboys Nation, relax. I guarantee we're going to have a 4th-round draft pick. Jerry is too hyper to just sit there and a 4th round don't have any pick. That's for sure. But
that's true.
Having said that,
hyper.
I would like to see either the trade towards the end of the 1st round or trade with Carolina. They have 2 a 2nd round, but number 33, and I believe it's a few ones down there. So what I'm trying to achieve to get 3 second-round draft picks, 2 from Carolina, we have 1 on our own, is a center, Zach Frazier. He's nasty. And he had a little bit of injury, but he's good. I'd like to see him. And I'm with you, tackle and center, either running back, and I'll be good on the 2nd round. Then the last thing I thought about, I know Jason Garrett. I know the family. I know Todd Garrett. I know the father. And I did a couple weddings for them. But I remember I had a conversation with Todd Garrett about they are in charge of pro personnel. They get the veteran player of our team. I think this today, I believe, is the Alex Loomis.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he is going to play a key important role. If the Cowboys don't fill up the players they want, he's going to watch who's going to draft in the 1st round and which player going to be expandable. And I think they're going to fill up the gap between those veteran players that either post-June casualty or whatever. So he's going to play a very important role to hopefully we can fill it up. And I love you, brother.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Say hello to everybody.
All right.
Go Cowboys Nation. Hopefully you have a great draft.
Thank you,
sir.
All right. Bye. I appreciate that. A lot of stuff packed into that call, Ali. Yeah, Frazier from West Virginia is getting a little bit of a pub there, too. That's probably a trade back thing. Carolina has a say in their draft picks, too. I mean, you have 2 second-rounders. It doesn't mean you have to trade up, and that's something. And I know fans know this, but I think it has to be reiterated sometimes. You just trade back. With who? For what? What are you getting? If the phone isn't ringing and nobody's trying to get your 24th pick, and so then you pick up the phone and you say, hey, you want this pick? What do you think? What do you think they're going to be asking for on the other end? Like, okay, we'll do it for a third. That if they didn't call you, then it's not going to be a great deal. So just because they don't love the players there, yeah, they're going to be trying to move out. I really believe that they'll try to do that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a player there that someone else is trying to jump up for, and it may not make sense for them to move back. You might move back 10 spots and not get what you want. There's a lot of people that thought back in 2013, Cowboys went from, I believe, 19 to 32, and they picked up a third, and maybe a later pick, a 5th-round pick, but there were a lot of people that didn't think they got enough out of the deal. They picked Travis Frederick with that 32nd pick, and they ended up getting Terrence Williams in the 3rd round. So it kind of worked out, but I'm just saying, it just because you want to trade up or down doesn't mean you have somebody that is willing to do it and willing to do it at the right price. All right, let's go to Michael in Bowling Green.
Right. It's great to be on the #1 Cowboys podcast in America.
Wow. I don't know about that, but
it is.
Yeah. Well, numbers don't lie, but we're moving up. There's no doubt about it. We're moving up. We need people like you guys.
To me, it is.
Well, I appreciate that, and that's the thing. We got a little tight group. We don't have the most numbers, but you know what? I'm not for everybody, but I am for this group, which is perfect. I appreciate it.
Yep. Hey, let me ask you real quick. I was watching Smoking the Bandit last night. They go to Texarkana.
Okay.
Have you seen it? I'm sure you have.
Yeah. I didn't watch it last night, but it's been a little bit.
Well, I saw it at the drive-in in 1977 when my parents took me. I was a little kid, but
okay.
Does it still look similar to that, or is it like everything else is just everything's changed?
Well, they have a mall. They have a mall now, and I mean, no, they've got some new stuff. It doesn't look like. Does anything look like it did in 1977?
Nah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's got stuff, but yeah, that's it's cool. It's an interesting town. There are probably other towns all over the country like that I just have not heard of, that are right there on the border or whatever. But it's kind of it's kind of cool, and it says it right there in the name, Texarkana. But yeah.
What's it? How close is Louisiana? Because isn't
yeah, I mean it's
the
right
end of it.
Yeah, I mean it's all right there. Actually, Oklahoma is a little bit closer than Louisiana, but yeah, it's all there. I mean they have Louisiana TV stations there for Texarkana. So yeah, it's all there.
Well, what I called about the Cowboys is I watched Draft Day this weekend, so I'm ready to go.
You watched Kevin Costner's Draft Day?
Oh yeah, I watch that movie every year about this time. And
it's the best worst movie ever.
I like it.
I mean, it's a bad movie, but it's a good bad movie. I think, and the reason why I say that is because it's not realistic at all. But that's okay. No. Days of Thunder is one of my favorite movies too, and it is not realistic to NASCAR. Who cares? It's a movie. Let's go. I want all my picks back. I want all my picks back. And David Putney, because I feel like it. Yeah.
Because the world has changed in 30 seconds.
Right. We're different than we were 30 seconds ago. That's right. That's funny.
But I just called to say I don't see how Dallas can mess up this draft. I don't see how they could. I don't think they will.
Did you say that last year?
Huh?
Did you say that last year?
No, I don't know, but I think it's set up for them. I think they can drop back a few picks and still get a top two center, and then I think they can get their another offensive lineman or a defensive lineman, a linebacker. I think they'll get 4 picks in the first 2 days. I think they'll draft or trade back a little bit and get either a late third or early fourth, and I think it's gonna be a good day or a good weekend.
All right. Well, I like what you're thinking. Optimistic, and I think, and we appreciate the call, Michael. We got to keep it moving here. We've got we can't go past 2:00 here. We got draft meetings going on, so we're gonna have to do that. But I think when you say you can't mess it up, it's probably because you have needs, and you've got a lot of needs, and you could just about any position could kind of, other than like tight end or even quarterback, they would make sense to fit in on what you're trying to do. I just saw something flash up on the screen here from NFL Network, and I guess they have the 5 different analysts that they have, and they all projected the 24th pick, and we'll do the same on our website here. In Thursday, we'll do different kinds of mocks and predictions and things like that. But they have their 5 analysts, and they all had 5 different players mocked to the Cowboys. I saw Jackson Powers Johnson, Troy Fatanu, that's from Washington, Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, Graham Barton from Duke, and Xavier Worthy from Texas. Worthy, that wouldn't make a ton of sense other than it just would be fun. I've always asked for the speed guy, and he definitely brought that. He has got the speed. I showed that at the combine, but I just don't know how that makes sense for you. You've got speed, you've got guys, you got a Turpin who's going to be able to do some things on offense again. Graham Barton, I'd be fine with that. Tyler Guyton, I think he looks the part. He's probably needs a little bit more development, but he's got the size and frame. He could work with him, and I think he could be a really good player too. Jackson Powers Johnson, a little medical concerns there too, but if you can live with that, if you're okay and comfortable there, you probably got a really good plug-in player. All right, let's go to William in West Virginia.
Nick, how we doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's my favorite time of the year, draft season. It's like you never know what kind of gift you're going to get every year. I look forward to it as much as anything.
All right. Well, maybe West Virginia. Maybe they got a center over there that. Tell me about him.
You read my mind, sir. I had a couple things I wanted to say. First of all, I love the shows, Secondly,
thanks, bud.
The thing is, I think I'd like to know who you would like them to get at running back, whatever round. I know your personal pick on that. And as far as Zach Frazier, the center goes, the guy can do it all. If they could trade back maybe to 30 or something like that, get him and get a 4th round pick. I'm talking a guy that can hang in there for as many years as Mark Stepnoski, and who's a little bit bigger and can get to the second level. He can do it all. And I know I'm a local guy, but I'm telling you, I think he would play there longer than Solomon Page did and probably do more.
Yeah. I can't think of any other West Virginia player. Pac-Man Jones?
Pac-Man Jones, and of course we had Tavon Austin there for a while. And I also wanted to tell you, somebody mentioned movies.
Hold on. Did Chuck Howley go there? No.
He did. As a matter of fact, he did.
Okay, sorry, starting to sweat a little bit. The last thing I need is anybody coming back and forgetting like a Ring of Honor player, and we're talking Solomon Page. But
I'm doing recent. I'm an older guy, as you know, but I'm not that old.
Hey, no, I'll say this, and this is a knock against West Virginia. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to do a knock.
Go ahead, they deserve it.
Chuck Howley, like 2 years ago, got put in. They retired his number at the West Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, and they retired his number. So he hasn't played football there in like 55 years, but just now they decided, you know what? Let's do this. Same thing with the Hall of Fame. So it's not just West Virginia, people in Canton as well. But it's always weird to me, you know, like it's just, yeah.
I was afraid the same thing was going to happen with Jimmy in the Ring of Honor.
Oh, fair.
But
yeah.
But you're right about that. West Virginia should be ditched for that because they waited far too long on this guy, and it's not like they've had a great bunch of 5 stars up there. But you're totally right on that.
Right. Oh, Will Greer. He was there, right?
Yeah, he was good. I mean, he was good, but like I said,
I'm just naming West Virginia players at this point. You know,
I mean, Major Harris, guys like that. But again,
Amos Zaraway. I'm just throwing out. All right.
Of course, Kevin White, who really had one good year, turned into a top 10 pick and never did anything. But that's what I'm saying. But I want you to talk. Somebody mentioned movies. If you've ever seen Escape from New York and Escape from L.A., check them out, sir. They are cult classics, and I would like to hear your opinion on them one of those days.
Okay. Is it like
Kurt Russell.
2 movies?
Yep, Escape from New York and Escape from L.A. I'm a Kurt Russell mark. He's probably one of the greatest actors ever. And if you watch that, you'll remember.
All right.
I promise you.
Cool. All right. Well, you got anything else?
Well, I like to say I don't bother me. You ditch West Virginia. I did some enough. I've lived here my whole life, and everything's fair game. But I mean, it's.
I would like to go to a game. I would like to go to a game there. I hear it's pretty awesome. I hear the festivities are awesome.
Both my daughters went there for 4 years, and they always talk about how much they love going to the games. So I mean, they still talk about it. So it is something, sir.
Not easy on the liver. Got to go with the moonshine. At 11 a.m.
The homemade fire water kind of leaves a lasting effect, sir.
We'll leave it at that. That's a great one.
I'm looking forward to the draft, and I appreciate you letting me through, and I'll hope to call again soon. Go StoryLine.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, William. Appreciate that. I love a good analogy. You know that. And Chris here on the message, because Xavier Worthy, what a fun player that would be. He just said, Chris, why don't you just say it? It's funny.
On the chat, I said Worthy is like buying a Mustang for a family of 6 when you need a van.
That's so true.
I mean, like, really?
Yeah. Can you imagine just coming home and being like, honey, hey, what do you think?
Got this Mustang. She's like, great. What are we gonna do with it?
It's got 5 speeds. Like, what? Yeah. Like, where are you gonna put the kids? Where are you gonna put the car seat? Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll figure that out. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Imagine if Kyle came home with one.
Yeah. Kyle. Yeah. Kyle. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Kyle needs to get him a minivan. All right. Let's go to Joseph and Keller.
Hey, Nick.
How are you?
As I got a chance. Hello?
Yeah. How you doing?
Okay. As I got a chance, I caught the last end of you and Chris talking, and all I could think about was Kyle coming home with the Mustang. That's funny that Chris said that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to be on a show where Irene got in. She convinced me, I don't know, 6 or 7 weeks ago to start listening to the podcasts again, saying she had come off from her sabbatical. I ended up listening for about a week and then taking another couple of weeks off, and actually caught up this morning to all of yesterday's podcasts. I listened to like 5 out of the 8 or 9.
Nice.
So I'm glad to be caught up before I get on the plane to Detroit for the draft tomorrow. So that'll be fun. It'll be the 3rd one that I get to go to.
Oh, cool. I mean, let's be honest here. Like, all right, catch me up. They signed Kendricks. They lost a lot of starters. They lost Tyron. They lost Tony Pollard and Biotish, and they signed Kendricks and Royce Freeman.
Well, that, and we were all in, and then we're not all in. But other than that, I heard all in plenty of times over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, you have, huh? Yeah.
He hasn't listened to the press conference today either.
Okay.
No, I saw that on Twitter. I did not listen to the press conference, but I saw that on Twitter as I was eating lunch and realized that the show had started, and I came out to my truck and made the call. But appreciate everything you guys do. I'll just be happy. This team drafts really well when we don't kind of force some needs.
Yeah.
So as long as we stay away from quarterback, stay away from tight end early and stay away from defensive tackle simply because hopefully we addressed it last year in the first round. I haven't given up on Mozzie Smith yet, but if we stay away from those three positions, just draft the best player available, I'll be happy. I would love for it to be a center because I think that really opens up the rest of the draft for whatever is best available.
Right.
Because then you can really, I don't know what the plan is with Tyler Smith, but you can really do whatever after that if you get a center, in my opinion. So anyway, if anyone from the storyline is going to the draft, hopefully I get to see him there. I'm not sure. We need like a hashtag so we can all communicate on Twitter in between all the shows.
What's your jersey? What are you wearing for the draft?
I haven't decided yet. The most recent jersey I purchased probably 5 years ago was Leighton Vander Esch. So I'm not sure.
Don't wear that.
If I'll break that out one more time or whatnot. I need to invest in probably a Micah jersey here sometime soon. So
all right, Diggs is always a good jersey. You know, they signed
Diggs is too. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right, good stuff.
All right,
have
thanks,
fun,
guys.
Have fun at the draft. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
Let's go. One more caller here. Let's go to Jonathan in Fullerton, California. Jonathan.
Hey, Nick.
What's up?
I almost said how you doing, but instead of that, I thought I would say Happy National English Muffin Day. I'm trying to think of a thing so you remember me to get on the storyline. So I'm Random Holiday Guy now. National English Muffin Day. But anyway, Cowboy stuff. I wanted to ask with it's been on social media and stuff. A couple teams have a few new like jersey and uniform designs and stuff. Do you have any favorite Cowboys helmets or uniforms from all history? And do you think they would ever get a new one? Like I know the ice white color block ones is newer, but I feel like we're the kind of team that doesn't want to get new stuff. You know, all about the history.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed over the years. I mean, it used to just be only white jerseys at home. That's it. Didn't really change a lot from the uniform. They've done that. You know, they'll Thanksgiving, obviously, you know, you see the Navy or the throwbacks, and then they'll wear blue at home just randomly. So, you know, and the NFL is also kind of changing some of those rules too, with like helmets and things like that you can have a little bit more freedom to do that. So you're right. I mean, you're kind of towing the line a little bit. Yes, it's tradition, but you also deviate from that just a little bit. So yeah, I mean, and my favorites. I mean, you know, I liked the double star back in the mid '90s. I think it's because they wore them like in the NFC Championship game, and you know, in the playoffs they were having success with them, so they could have worn the red jerseys. You know, they don't even exist, and I would have been cool with that. So, you know, whatever they throw out, I usually like it. I mean, I'm a fan of the Navy. I'd like to see Navy pants, but I don't know if they'll ever do that. But yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, it doesn't like stray very far from what they have. It's still one of their colors, but that'd be cool. You should pitch that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't pitch a lot of ideas, but I did pitch one, and it worked one time. I'll just leave it at that. But
nice. You got a foot in the door.
Yeah. We got a T-shirt one time. We got a T-shirt in the pro shop. No, you know. As Chris is on one today, he's like, "What do you want, Oregon? You want an Oregon tradition? You don't want to flip up the uniforms every?" Yeah, that actually annoys me when you see a lot of college teams. You know, I always thought there should be a rule. You should have as many combinations of the uniform as wins that you did last year. So if you won 5 games, then you know you can mix it up. You know, home away about 5 times. But this whole 12 different changes all the time, all this tradition, you know, everyone's last name, everyone, you know, on the back, everyone's name is like family or something like that. Just no, sorry, you went 4-12 last year. You just go regular stuff. So, anyways, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's all just you could market it. You could sell a ton of jerseys if you have a bunch of different designs. But last thing, I wasn't able to listen live. I just wanted to ask, do you have any thoughts about Jerry doubling down on going all in? I didn't get to hear the interview. I just saw an article saying he was doubling down. Any thoughts on that?
He was saying we're all in on the draft. We're all in on the young players. We're all in on everything. Like that, he just kind of went that way. Like we're all in with the things that we're all in about. That's kind of what he said. And that really doesn't change for what I think what he meant to say all along, that this year, with all the contracts, where they are with everything and how it's all kind of pressed up against it, that this is it. If they're going to really have a chance to compete, it's got to be this year. And they didn't have the opportunity to pay a lot of money in free agency and all that kind of stuff. So, but this is, and he explained that in the press conference of why they've been kind of pushing the can down the road here. And this is kind of here. This is where we are. So, all right. This will not be the last show before the draft. We'll do one on Thursday. We'll get maybe some draft insider help in here for a little bit to talk about specific players. But we'll stay same time, 1 o'clock on Thursday. And again, be ready for a Friday show at some point in the afternoon. We'll be looking to do that as well. So, all right, for Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We'll see you next time on StoryLine. See ya.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?